Hello and welcome to Mastering Power BI video series. This is video number 7. In this video, we are going to explore the next type of visual, the pie chart, the donut chart, and the tree map visual. Many of you would have used the pie chart a lot, but what's the difference between a pie chart and a donut chart? When to go for donut chart, especially in Power BI, and when to go for tree map visual? So let's go ahead and check it out in the Power BI screen, when to go for this and how to use this more effectively. All right, now I have opened a blank report in the Power BI. Let's go ahead and load the data set and let's start creating the visual. So I'm going to go ahead and start loading the data set right now by the process get data Excel workbook, and the file which we want to take it up is this one, and I want to load it. It's an Excel data source. Let's go ahead and get this loaded into Power Query just to check whether we need to do any kind of transformation. So this is the sheet where I want to take the data from. So I selected it and I'm going to say transform data. Just to make sure that the data is perfect in all the way. So we're going to rename the query. Let's say sales data. All these steps performed in the applied step is perfectly fine with me because it's a simple, straightforward data, nothing to worry about in terms of any kind of cleaning. But we're going to quickly check on the columns available. Every data type set is all perfect. It seems to be good enough, so we're good to go. So we're going to load this to the data model, close and apply, and that's going to come to the data model. So let's get the data to the Power BI. So now the data is trying to come in here, and yes, we got the data. So let's create the pie chart visual. Now, first and foremost, clarity is when to go for pie chart. When you want to show the distribution, contribution. Okay, so let's say, for example, there are 4 quarters we have every financial year. How much percentage of revenue has been contributed from each and every quarter, or how much percentage of revenue we got from each and every quarter. Suppose, let's say I have 10 salesperson. So how much percentage each and every salesperson is contributing towards the total sales, or how the revenue is distributed across the product portfolio. So whenever you want to study the distribution or the contribution for the total value, then we need to think about going for a pie chart or going for a donut chart, okay, or a tree map visual. But where is the thin line of difference? We segregate, hey, this is the place you have to go for donut chart, not a pie chart. Hey, this is the place you should go for a tree map visual, not the pie, neither the pie nor the donut. So let's get that clarity. Let's create the pie chart first. So I want to study how much percentage of quantities or the quantities sold for every customer type. So let's go ahead and click on the customer type, and we're going to click on the quantity and the customer type. Now, by default, what we got here is a bar chart. But remember, bar chart gives you a comparative visual, but not a distribution or a contribution. So I want to change that. So here I could see it says me option to change my visual. I can go here and click and it can get changed, or I can go to the home tab and click on the pie chart here. That will also change, or I can go to the right side, the build pane. I can click on the pie chart. That will also change. So I clicked on that. Now you can see here, this is giving me a clarity that, hey, this is the percentage contributed by each and every section. So you can see here, so the highest contributor is 43.25, and that's OEM, and the next highest contributor is retail, and I have to, this is a section. So I can see it along with the percentages. So small customizations if you could do on the visual, this makes it much more readable and much more legible and easy to consume it. So I'm going to go to the format pane just to do one single thing. I'm going to turn off the legend, and I'm going to go to the details labels, and I'm going to say, why don't you present with me the category and the percentage of total. Now if you check the visual this time, you could see it comes along with the category along with its percentage. Let me increase the font size of this labels. So let's increase this to 14. You guys can see comfortably. Let me make this visual a little bigger. So now you can see that this is much more clear and presentable. Now, when do I go for a donut chart? Well, that is something which you have to think about it. So let's say, for example, donut chart is really going to uh, add value to the visual when you want to say that, hey, this is the total value, and for the total value, this is the distribution. For example, we want to know what's the total quantity sold, and I want to present total quantity value in the middle of my pie chart. So whenever you want to show the total value uh, along with the distribution, then you need a space in the center to put your total value, and that is not going to be possible in a pie chart, whereas a donut chart will give you that center space where you can put that total value and you can present it. So the only difference is when you want to show the total value and along with that the distribution, then it makes really a big deal. So let's say, for example, in this case I want to get my total sales. So how do I get a single value, the total quantity? So for that I'm going to create a visual. So I'm going to click outside the pie chart visual. I'm going to go to the build pane and I'm going to go for the card visual, a simple card visual. Let's click the card visual. We got our card visual, and in that card visual I just want the total quantity. I'm going to activate that. Now we got the total quantity which says 50K. This is my total quantity. So let's say if I want to do some kind of adjustments on these card visuals. So remember, we're going to have a separate video for card visual, absolutely. But this, I'm just trying to show you when the donut makes a difference. So let's go ahead and get this values little bit adjusted. Okay. The label is on, so I'm going to have the label perfect. Maybe I would love to do any kind of changes here. Let me make not on the label. What about the value? So can I make it center? Yes, you could see here it came in the center. This is what I want to have. And I want to reduce these font size. Let me reduce it. Yes, you can see here it gets reduced. I also want to reduce the font size. How much we have reduced it? This one. I want to reduce the labels size as well. That also got reduced right now. So I'm just trying to make sure this guys is ready. So now let me copy this pie chart and put it another copy. Now this is my actual pie chart. I want to change this pie chart. Okay, let's keep our card visual here. And this is our pie chart. So let's change this pie chart to a donut chart. So I'm going to click here and it changed it to a donut chart. Now watch this. I can drag this and I can place it in the center like this. But why am I not seeing it? So what I need to do is I need to remove the background color. So is it possible to remove the background? Yeah. So do we have the option? So let's click here. The background is on. So let's turn off the background. Under the size and style, I turned off the background. Let me drag this time and place it over here. So when I click outside, can I see it? Absolutely yes. Watch it. So we sold almost 50K quantities. The distribution of 50,000 quantities are coming from these four category, and out of that 50,000, almost 43% of 50,000 is contributed from OEM. Okay, if I keep the mouse over here and it's going to show me what is that 43% of 50K. So you can see here it presents it. So donut chart is required when you want to present a kind of a visual which displays the distribution or the contribution to the entire total, and I want to show the total also as a part of the visual. Okay, at the center, so it carries more value when I present it like this. Yeah. So when you have such a requirement, Doughnut really helps you in those places. Else, Doughnut or Pie both will get it done. But placing a value like this in the center, that's not possible when it comes to pie chart. Even if you put it, it might, stay like a stand out like an alien out of that visual. But if you have something like this, it becomes a part of your visual itself, and that is quite amazing to watch it. And if you get a slicer and if you bring it, these values will keep changing, center value will also keep shifting. That's amazing to watch it. So now you people got the understanding when to go for pie chart and when to go for Doughnut. Now, when to go for Treemap visual? Let me create another page to show you that. Normally, a pie chart or a Doughnut chart, you are allowed to have only one non-numerical column, not multiple. But let's say, let me give you another easier example. In each year, in each quarter, what is my quantity sold? So there's a primary level, there is a sub level, and then by which I want to study the distribution or contribution. Now, when it comes to Treemap visual, it's not about distribution or contribution. The only problem in Treemap is you need to get the understanding by looking at the dimension of the visual. Let me show you what I mean by dimension of the visual. So let's create a tree map right now. Here is my tree map. And I got my tree map visual. Let me make it a little bigger. And that's the only visual we're going to have it. I'm going to remove the filter sections. I'm going to keep the format. Let's go build section. We don't need it. We need the format and the data pane. So let's bring in the customer type and the vehicle category and the total sales. Now, when I create this, okay, let me show you like this. When I present this visual like this, the way you have to interpret this is which color is occupying major. That's a major contributor. Okay. So when I present this visual, my receiver should also be knowledgeable in understanding, okay, first the leftmost side which occupies a major space is a major contributor. And then I have to look at this text, what it is, it's OEM. So OEM is the major contributor. The next one, which is the next, is retail. And the next one, which is smaller than that, is wholesale. The much smaller most one is the fleet. So I have to go by the dimension, the size taken by the color. And if I have a subcategory, even if I want to know who is the best contributor in subcategory, again I have to go by looking at the space occupied by that category, and I have to literally hover over my mouse to know the number behind it. So even if I activate data label, this becomes really tough for the end user. Watch it. If I activate it, I can't see. Here I can see it, but here I don't see it. Now literally I have to increase the size of the visual, but when it comes to report dimension, this is not going to help me, because when I zoom this one, it's going to lose it. Probably I can put this or pin it in the dashboard on the Power BI service, or I can use the focus mode when I'm presenting it. But when it is a part of multiple visual page, this is really not going to help that much, which is my personal opinion, but I leave it for you guys. Okay, but let me give you a small suggestion. When instead of going for labels, I would suggest you, why don't you activate legend? The best part about legend is the order in which you see the legend is the order in which the data is also presented to you. So the highest contributor comes in the top. So when you talk to the people, when they look at the legend, they can make it out OEM is the best contributor, and retail is the second best, and wholesale is the third best, and the last one is a fleet. So at least they can make it out instead of looking for what is this text. But the size of the text, both the sides, doesn't make any big difference. But I can increase the size of all these text. Everything is possible. But in my personal opinion, again, I'm coming to the point that the tree map visual is the one you should think about when your end user is also knowledgeable about the tree map. It has to be studied by looking at the space occupied by the color and the subsections of the colors inside them. If they can get it through, then go for tree map. Else, I would not suggest you to go for tree map. You can even go for a stacked bar chart or a stacked column chart. That makes it much more readable and understandable. All right. So With which we have come to the end of this video. I've shown you when to go for a pie chart, when to go for a donut chart, what's the difference between a pie chart and a donut chart, and what is Treemap visual, and when to go for Treemap visual, what's the disadvantage in Treemap visual, when you go for Treemap visual, why legends are very important. All those we have discussed. So I'll come up with another interesting visual in the Power BI world. Until then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hariharan.